Dad.
What's up, YouTube? Dorky Dad here. I'm trying a little bit different format than my normal YouTube videos. So if you're looking for one of my regular vlogs, this is not that. And if you came here through Reddit, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and this is exactly what you clicked on. If this video is well received, well liked, I am going to be doing a new series of videos that will be a Supergirl after show for the CWTV's television show, Supergirl, in case you didn't pick that up from the context clues of the last string of words that I said. Basically, if you're finding this from Reddit, you know that I am the guy that does the synopses for Supergirl. Now you got a face to put with all the terrible jokes. I kind of started doing that because I do enjoy reading the synopses for other shows, especially the DC TV on the CW universe, and Not a Creepish's S.H.I.E.L.D. synopsis, which are hilarious. But I noticed that Supergirl did not have one, so when season 2 started, after binge watching through season 1, I was like, you know what, I'm try to be funny sometimes, and a couple people might laugh at this, so let's give it a shot. So since I kind of picked up on that, I was like, yeah, nobody's really doing these top 5 videos or, you know, best moments video, because I got way more than 5. But nobody's doing these best moments videos or anything like that for Supergirl that I've seen, at least not shared on Reddit. You know, if they're out there, let me know, and if they're better than this, because I'm kind of spitballing right now. I'm not really good at this structure. I do vlog stuff where I can just talk and talk, like I'm doing right now. But I'm trying to do a Supergirl after show. We'll see how it turns out. If it's well received, I'll keep doing it. So I came in on the back half of season 2 because there really aren't enough hours in the day for me to start it at the beginning of season 2, and yeah. But season 2B starts off strong. It was directed by Kevin Smith. Pretty much everybody knows that. Kevin Smith is a huge name. Writer, director, actor, comic book writer, comic book shop owner, comic book enthusiast. I'm onto my hands. I'm going to be moving to toast soon if I keep listing this dude's accomplishments, because everybody knows and everybody loves Kevin Smith, or he wouldn't be who he is. You know, I kind of idolize Kevin Smith, as you can see by my masterful physique, that, you know, the fatness that I keep going, fat man. I was looking forward as a Kevin Smith fan to this episode, and as a Supergirl fan to this episode. Kevin Smith has directed 2, I think, episodes of Flash. I know they directed the Runaway Dinosaur at the end of season 2, or not the very end, but towards the end of season 2, and he directed the Killer Frost episode, Shade? I think it was Shade? Shade, the episode that wasn't actually about Shade, in season 3. Great episodes. And Kevin Smith, in his own words, has done, you know, interviews and YouTube videos and all that about how he, you know, because he cried so much during The Flash, wanted to direct an episode of The Flash. And he's the director, so let him. And now with Supergirl, pretty much everybody has pointed out that the Supergirl Lives title of this episode was a direct reference to a Superman script that Kevin Smith wrote that ended up not getting made for a Superman movie, obviously. But basically, Kevin Smith was a purchase order was placed for Kevin Smith to write this script for a Superman movie in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere there. And for those that don't know the full backstory, he was essentially given a list of impossible odds of things that you would never think would make a Superman movie, and somehow he still managed to write a good Superman movie out of it. And then they brought in Tim Burton, and Tim Burton was like, well, this still seems too much like a Superman movie for a movie about Superman, so we want this to be a regular, we're just not going to make a Superman movie. It's going to have Superman's name on it, not going to be a movie. But there was so much back and forth, the movie ended up never getting made. So instead of Kevin Smith's ideal of Ben Affleck as Superman, we now have him as Batman. And instead of Tim Burton's idea of Nick Cage as Superman, we now have him stealing the Declaration of Independence. But I say all that to say this, everybody knows that and that reference. I'm going to get sidetracked here for a second. Kevin Smith coming to the CW universe is actually very fitting, because Kevin Smith wrote one of the best story arcs of modern Green Arrow. Now, obviously not, you know, Golden Age or that. Longbow Hunters was the greatest, and that was the 80s. But modern era Green Arrow, Kevin Smith wrote one of the best. It was Quiver, and it actually introduced Mia Reardon, who is the inspiration for Thea Queen in the television series Arrow. Unfortunately, unless something happens and the beef gets squashed. We will likely never see a Kevin Smith episode of Arrow on TV, and that is because of an issue with Arrow executive producer Mark Guggenheim. His wife, Tara Butters, had a TV series on CW called Reaper. They brought Kevin Smith in to direct the first episode. Kevin Smith, being who he is and doing his job and doing it well, had to make some rewrites to the script. The writer team, the showrunner, Tara Butters, they weren't happy with the fact that he did the rewrites, and even though Kevin Smith offered to stay on and direct the entire season, they basically said, no, we'll call you, and then they never called him. And this is all what I'm reading from interviews. This is all secondhand accounts. I wasn't there. Yeah, quote me on this if you want, but I'm quoting other stuff, and I'll have to find links, and it's just... But take it all with a grain of salt. This is what's heard through secondhand accounts. We will probably never have an episode of Arrow as a result of Mark Guggenheim, which could be a whole nother tirade, but I'm not going to bone clinks this up, which, that's not an insult. Props to that dude for doing what needs to be done. But moving on. I basically say all that to get to my point that this is, the reference is a Supergirl reference, and that Kevin Smith belongs directing superhero shows or movies or whatever, because the man is just top notch. If we ever get a Batman show, I hope it's him. I just hire him, showrunner, top writer, lead, whatever. He could be Batman for all I care. Fat Man as Batman instead of Fat Man on Batman. I'd still watch it. As long as Kevin Conroy does the voiceover. Going back to Kevin Smith, the basic storyline is a reference to Kevin Smith's script that never got made. The key plot point of the script was that the Earth's yellow sun was going to be blocked out, and as a result, Superman would be without his powers for X amount of time during the movie through the script. In this episode, Supergirl Lives, Kara and Mon-El both find themselves on a planet with a red sun, so both of them are found powerless, while investigating a string of missing persons. Now, I personally like the approach of this taking place on another planet. A lot of people on Reddit were saying, were immediately drawing the parallels to Star Wars. A lot of it I don't really get because, like, yes, it's in outer space and there are alien races. They have cities, they have cultures. That's about where it ends. And that's pretty much any sci-fi that you're going to see ever. And it's a lot of the DC comic books. Superman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern. Pretty much all of those comics address alien civilizations that have their own civilization. So, while I see the parallels that were being drawn by people, there's kind of a line. I mean, it's sci-fi. And I liked the comic book campiness. Roulette kind of added to that campiness by kind of showing up and not really doing much of anything. I guess liking diamonds. I don't know. She had the same dress. It really just, it played to the comic book level of villain. You know, she just kind of shows up. It's like, hey, yeah, I'm evil. But when broken down to its core elements, Roulette really had no place there, but still was a good element of the episode. But the next point I wanted to touch on was that finally, we get a Harley Quinn on TV. And I'm sorry that it's not the one you're thinking. Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin Smith's daughter, was the missing person that Kara was going to find. Most everybody knew that. I called it out on Reddit, and so did everybody else. But in case you didn't know that, it's a fun fact. Do with that what you will. I just really got excited about the ability to say that there's a Harley Quinn on TV. Next point, and what we found out while they were in the cell doing the bonding or whatever, the Dominators do exist on Earth 38. Earth 38 is, of course, Supergirl's Earth. The Dominators being the species that were the cause of the crossover for Flash and Arrow. They were the ones that invaded Earth during the Invasion, was the name of the episode. And now they're here on Earth 38. Whether it's the same purpose, similar purpose, or just to establish the fact that they exist, we don't know yet. It'll be something to see. But they did have one establishing factor. My next point is that Mon-El is not who he says he is. He's either Daxam royalty or something else entirely that the Dominators recognize and respect. I'm going with Smelly Space Pirate, but a lot of people don't like that theory. We'll see what happens. Next point. Yet another reference to Kevin Smith's Superman Lives. The solar grenade, the sun grenade that a lot of people were hating on almost immediately because it is just one handheld plot device. Perfect use of it, but that's all it was. It was a handheld plot device, pull pin, throw, plot. But in the Superman Lives script, during the time that Superman was without a yellow sun, he was inside of a suit made from the Eradicator cyborg. The suit was creating artificial solar rays that were affecting his body and giving him his strength at the time. So in a way, this could be a reference to that. It could just be a big plot device. Knowing the way Kevin Smith thinks, I'm going with either of them. Leave me a comment. Let me know what's your opinion on that. Just overhyped plot device or cool reference to something that never was. The episode kind of ended on a really cool note. It had the bonding between Kara and Mon-El, and the fact that Mon-El now wants to be a superhero as a result of their adventures in space. Mon-El wants to be a superhero. So let me know. Do you think he's going to go with the Superboy Prime style outfit? Do you think he's going to go with a Mon-El and the Justice Society outfit? How do you think he's going to do it? Do you think he's going to get one at all? Do you think they're going to kill him off as a driving force? They're going to fridge Mon-El since the show's about girl power and whatnot. I'm ignoring the Alex and Maggie stuff, not for any reason. It's just that the drama was immediate and forced in this episode, and I'm not trying to speak negative on it because I've been a fan. Like, the storyline was really well done, except for the drama that was purposefully done, and that's what this episode feels like. So I'm hoping that if we ignore it, it will just kind of go away, because once we gave it attention, it turned into Arrow, and we don't want that with Supergirl. We're going to avoid that altogether. We're just like, oh yeah, whatever happens, happens. Let it go. Just let it go. But also in this episode, Winn, almost so close to a great storyline with Winn. There was like 45 whole seconds where the writers of this episode understood PTSD better than the Department of Veterans Affairs has understood it since 2004. And then it was immediately resolved. Little upsetting. I was like, hey, they're giving him PTSD. That's kind of cool. And it's like, oh no, they're leaving him alone. Who leaves the tech guy alone? With the Stargate reference on Winn, by the way. Totally on point. And another reference, thinking with portals. That's what Winn's going to become the Mary Sue, and it's going to hurt my feelings, but you know, whatever. But they were so close. I was like, yes, they gave him PTSD. For whatever reason, they left him alone. This is just, it's going to play into character development. It's going to do really well. It's going to give him something to do other than read a tablet and be the driving force of the plot. And then they immediately resolved it, which I'm all for fast-moving story arcs, and I'm all for great character development, but there was such a missed opportunity on that. And I might be a little offended because he's already becoming the Mary Sue, and I feel like, you know, maybe I'm getting attached, and maybe this is the part that we don't want to become Arrow. But either way, let me know, what did you guys think of that? I want this to be interactive. I want this to be comment-driven, community. I don't know. I might throw some pictures in here, some cool... I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, but I'm editing it in. I'm already running super long on time, and this is probably going to end up all chopped and cut anyway. But if you like this, let me know. Comment, like... I don't like being that guy. I don't want to be like, comment, and subscribe. But, so, however you want to. If you want to get involved, let me know. Give me something. Give me, you know, advice. Constructive criticism. You like it, do it. If you like it, let me know. If you want me to keep doing this, let me know. If you want me to just shut up, say so. And then I'll just stop doing it. I'll just go back to putting words on pictures. And I'm still going to do that anyway, so you guys can laugh in a couple days. But, you know, we'll get this going. We'll see. Let me know. Let me know if you like it. Okay. Stay dorky.